obviously a very talented team. Um, I think they have the collection of, in my opinion, the best bigs in our league across the board. When you have big guys that are able to catch, catch and score, face up and score, back to the basket scoring, rebound and score, but also make free throws. And they have good size and good length and they're physical guys. So, and Gabe York has been very good for those guys for a long time. He's led them for a long time, made big shots for them. Alonzo Trick can really score the ball. He's a very talented young guy with a tremendous ability to put the ball in the basket. So a lot of parts. And it'll be a great challenge.
Coach, in terms of game planning for Arizona, they didn't have cheer last time you played them. You have tie back this coming game, but you guys ended up with the win. Do you change a lot of the game planning for this Arizona game, or around
Well,
they have who you have back?
well, I think what happens after you play a team the first time, you go back and watch the film. I mean, I try to watch maybe their last four games, just kind of get a gauge, to see how the game flows, see how they play, and see how certain teams played against them. Especially if the opposing team does some of the similar things that we like to do, whether it's offense or defensively. And then you go back to the game that we play and you just figure out, first try to correct our breakdown, first and foremost on both ends of the floor, and then figure out, where there are opportunities to score the basketball at, and then you make your adjustments from there.
It seemed like Ivan was a little bit more vocal the other day. Did you notice that? And what's been the process like for you to get him to?
Everybody said that, they watch him. For me, my job is every day, just because I think he has the ability to be a really good leader. But everybody goes at their own pace, and as a freshman, learning how to gel and lead with a new team is not an easy thing to do. So just his timetable, but he does have that ability because he understands what he's saying when he says stuff. He has a good feel for the game. And I've always felt like if you can have your big guys be vocal and lead from the backside, you got a chance to be really good, especially on the defensive side of the ball because they see everything, and he has that ability.
What did you guys to be a better at shooting team during the streak?
Well, guys that can make shots, and I can't remember back when, but that was a stretch we weren't shooting the ball very well from the 3-point line. So it's been probably. To my recollection, maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks, where we spent about our guards at the end of every practice have to make 200, 3-point shots, have to make at least 200. So that means you're getting up a lot of shots. Because this time there's not a lot of up and down running in practice, a lot of physical banging in practice. So you got to get shots up. And I've always been a guy this time of year, practice tapers off, so you have to be very detailed in what you're doing, but you got to spend a lot of time getting shots up. So maybe that's it, but also guys that are making shots, they can make them. It's just a matter of getting the reps.
Just the guards you're taking the shots?
Well, the bigs do. Well, the guards on one end they shoot 3-point spot shots around the perimeter, and then the bigs they get shots up, but also different things that we do with our bigs in the post.
So different guys watching each guy to count the 200, or?
Well, they're kind of in groups. There might be 4 guys on the blue team, over 4 guys on the goal, and not necessarily competing against each other, but they might make it a challenge. The first one to 15, but those shots have to be at least 200 made, and you have like 12 minutes to get that done.
So that would take Steph Curry like 207 attempts, probably. What about the rest of your guys?
Man,
So each individual player has to hit.
no. They shoot them as a group, so it takes about. And they get up over make more than their share, but you just really get a lot of reps. So it's probably 8 guards that get them up. Yeah.
So each guy's making 25 or so.
You like to think so, but some might make more than others.
Cuonzo, you talk about the difference that going big when you started to play Cam and King Moore made in your defense. That seems like you did mention the other night that in Las Vegas, the team didn't play very well at that point. Ivan was still playing the 5.
Yeah.
It's kind of after that.
Well, I think we became a better team when Cam and King were in heavy rotation. Just physical presence around the rim. So it's probably more me as a coach not having those guys on the floor early in the season. But yeah, because they have a physical presence. They're not afraid to bang. Again, they continue to work and improve on fouling situations, and sometimes I watch film on some of those, but it's part of it. But yes, they set a different tone because now we take our chance with those guys going one-on-one and doing a good job defending, especially when teams normally don't go down on the blocks all the time. We'll take our chances because that means in a lot of cases they might score a couple, but they're out of rhythm because it's not what they normally do. But I think they've really helped us.
In addition to their physical presence, how much does it help to also have them play more in terms of everybody's going to play just their natural position? How much does it help Ivan be playing natural forward and getting into the natural position? How much does that help?
I think it really helps Ivan, but I think in some ways Ivan was able to get away in certain games at the center position in the preseason because the certain teams were smaller. But it just from his physical standpoint, it still wasn't ideal for him. But because he can score the ball and we can spread guys out, you're able to benefit from that. But we weren't a very good defensive team with the lineups we had on the floor because of that, and not necessarily because Ivan was at the 5. It's probably more because our guards didn't do a great job of really defending and rebounding.
Was he more assertive, more aggressive the other day than we've seen most of the time? It sure seemed that way.
Well, again, that's what people say. I mean, I just think, we talk about it all the time, and I go back to my days when Coach Katie wanted me to shoot the ball more and take this shot. I mean, but I took it when I felt comfortable with it. And I just think that's the same thing with Ivan. He's a talented player. He engages and probes, and he makes his decision. It's just, again, it's at his own pace. But I've always thought he was a better shooter than I shouldn't say what he's shown because he doesn't shoot it a lot, but he can really shoot the ball. So we do talk a lot about that, shooting the ball from the perimeter because he can make shots.
Is it with a guy like Ivan who's naturally kind of a selfless person? I think that's one of his biggest strengths on the court. How do you balance that with commanding the ball?
Really pushing him without driving him crazy. Just really getting after him and helping him understand that at some point he has to demand it more than I do. And that just comes with time. It comes with time because he understands, he feels it, and he's very aware of the situation. He knows we need him to be productive, whether he's shooting the ball or not, but the ball has to be in his hand. He has to rebound the ball, keep balls alive, whether he run the floor, posting up early, making shots from the perimeter, because he makes good decisions with the basketball.
His high school coach said that he really started to show that, be more demonstrative on the court during the tournament last year. Did you notice that?
Yeah, well, I noticed. I mean, but it's a different level. I mean, the guys in most cases, 90% of teams those guys played again. He was the best player on the floor in every situation. But I don't know if that's necessarily the case when I watch him because I was looking at a talent and wasn't necessarily the results of the game.
What's his strength level right now, and where does it need to be for him to start to maximize what he can be and use his skills?
Well, I think his strength is good enough for his age and the time he spent in the weight room. But I think you're talking about looking at another year of his body really filling out because you're not getting that much more stronger this time of year. But he lifts weights with the team, 2 or 3 times a week. But he's not putting on 15 pounds in 2 days. So but he holds his own because he's aware. He knows how to use angles. But sometimes when you go against guys bigger and stronger, bless you, especially with the way the game's officiated. It could be tough.
I know you try to guard yourself against it, but just walking around campus, have you noticed a little bit more buzz around the team or anything like that?
I don't know. I walked around campus, just because I always try to go to campus, just check on guys. But for me, again, it's always the same. I like the same approach. If you're there in the beginning and you're there in the end, it's all the same. For me, it doesn't change. My job is hard work. It's every day, making sure they go to class, be on time, work hard as they can work, and just it's all the same. I still don't get a lot of sleep, so. But I think it's good for our fans and our guys. But for me, the approach is still the same.
With that, though, have more people stopped you on campus? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, but they did that before. I think our students don't get enough credit for their awareness of, because what I heard on the surface, the student section, but I think they've done a tremendous job, even when I'm around campus. 'Cause I try to spend a lot of time on campus, but they've done a great job with their awareness, in my opinion, even before what has currently happened.
Do you go meet players at class or when they're coming out of class? Is that
Both, before, after, whatever, as long as they see my eyes. Yeah. Yes.
Was there a time in the middle of the year, did you think that Ivan was a little frustrated with his game and been able to operate without getting in foul trouble and deal with physical defenses?
Well, I think so because it's hard. that's hard when you played at a level of comfort for so long, and all of a sudden there's resistance, and it's hard to overcome that. I didn't feel bad for him because I went through it, and it's part of going through it. So it just a matter. I can say whatever I wanted to say, but he had to go through it. So get through it and keep
What did you
moving.
say to him?
Keep working hard. That's all you can say because he's a talented guy. I mean, what we work on in practice will help you get you over the hump. Lifting weights will eventually get you over the hump, and just work as hard as you can work, and eventually you'll get there.
You see him coming through that a little bit now?
Oh yeah. And they'll still have days. I mean, because again, people know who he is, so they'll make him work. But it's just a matter of him fighting through it and understanding what he needs to do to be successful, how to score the ball, rebound the basketball, keep balls alive, defend without fouling, moving his feet. He has to do all those things, and that'll never stop. As long as he's playing this game for the next 15, 20 years, that'll never stop.
Do you communicate with Coach Katie during the season or not?
All the time, all the time.
Phone or by email?
Both, all the time.
What
Yeah.
kind of stuff does he tell you? Do you talk about?
Well, he always texts me after the game, great job, and it's amazing because Coach, he used these emojis and all that, and it just, it is. It's funny to see this last one he sent because he has smiley faces on it and everything. But I mean, he does. It's let me see. But after every game, because he watches, he said, I stay up late and I watch all my guys, meaning guys that play for him, coached under him, and he watches all. But I talk to him all the time because again, coach is like a father to me. I mean, he even sent one with shades on, a smiley face with the guy with shades. I mean, just. But
Do you think he's actually doing that himself, or does he have somebody else?
I think he does. Oh yeah, coach is a genuine guy. I think he does. But he just we talk all the time. We doesn't really talk. Okay, you need to run this play, that play. Just make sure you guys are working hard. Make sure you guys stay locked in. Don't overlook the little things because coach is one of the best at stand ahead of the game, be aware of that this might happen here. You got to be prepared for this. He was always on the defensive side, just making sure. Because he said he would always say, I never want you guys to look bad. People run a play on you, you didn't see it coming. All of a sudden, he said, we don't want to look like donkeys out there. That was his thing. He just said, we always want to be prepared, and I always take that to heart. Just make sure you're prepared, whatever happens, regardless of your personnel. You want to be prepared at all times. And he was spent a lot of time being detailed in those things. But now when we talk, it's just more how's your family doing, how your boys doing, all that. But never really about this particular player. I mean, you might see some exciting about the play, but we don't really talk in those terms. I might ask him a question about something, and he'll give me his opinion, but it's never really about, man, you should have did this or did that. Yeah.
In that vein of being prepared and 200 three-pointers, have you instituted anything of that type with free throws?
Same thing, just technique. Well, we do a lot of different things. We do 1-on-1 in practice, 2 shots, 5 in a row, make 10 in a row, shoot till you miss. We do a lot of different things with free throws. I just think really it's just a matter of confidence and consistency. And just, I don't know if it's pressure situation because we have guys that they don't mind the pressure. Because if you look at them late in games, they're a lot better. But it's just the technique. And at some point it might just get contagious. One guy missed, the other guy missed. Because it's not a good sign when Matthews start missing free throws. So.
Coach, there was a comparison on SB Nation today between Jalen and Andrew Wiggins per 40 minutes stats compared to last season when he was at Kansas and where Jalen is now. Do you see that comparison a little bit? I mean, from a statistic standpoint, it definitely shows. But as a coach,
As far as talent as players, I'll answer that for you. In the future, I'll answer that for you, and I'll give you the best answer. But, I mean, Jalen's a talented basketball player. And from where he was and to where he is now, it's a credit to his work and understanding and willingness to get better. Because I've been around guys like that, and it's hard for those guys to know it, to realize I need to get better. And he understood he needed to get better, and now you see the results of that. I mean, it was never about having a lack of talent. There are a lot of guys that are talented. I grew up with guys that are talented, still in the same neighborhood, struggling to make ends meet. But he understood what he needed to do to take the next step. And again, you gotta feel that, and it might be painful to hear it. But if you want to move forward, this is what you need to do to get it done.
Where has he gotten better? Where do you think he's gotten better?
I just think really slowing down, because he's a really good athlete. His shot has really improved, in my opinion. So I thought earlier in the year he was shooting 3-point shots, shooting them. Now he's making them. I think it was more or less I'm gonna just shoot this shot, or shoot a pull up because it looks like a good move, but it wasn't the best move. Now he makes move because I need to attack. If I can get a layup every time off this play, I'll take a layup. Now if he stops me, I shoot a pull up. Now I shoot my three right here because it's presented to me. Just really playing basketball, taking what the defense gives him, and putting pressure on the defense that way. And defensively, he's gotten a lot better. I mean, he's gotten a lot better defensively.
How was Ivan from the standpoint of understanding how much better he had to get?
Well, I think in Ivan's case, it's more the strength part, and then I think the other part, same way with, even though Ivan probably had a little more tools than Cameron and Kingsley around the rim and his skill level offensively, but also learning consistently what it feels like to be a big guy. Because how many times those guys really play against other big guys in high school, where you have to learn to play post D, brush the knob, beating up your line, front of the post, helping recover. Even though their coaches teach that, it's hard when you don't see or feel it every day. A guy banging against you every day just as tall where you can't get your shot off, you get your shot blocked in college. So that's the adjustment I think most big guys have to make.
I may have already asked this question on Sunday, so apologies if it's a repeating question, but how big of a measuring stick is this game on Thursday against Arizona? You guys have won 7 straight, but 5 of those 7 have been at home. Just how big of a measuring stick is this in terms of evaluating where you guys are at?
Well, whatever happens, I think we're a good team. So I don't, whether you win the game, you lose the game, I don't think it changes anything. So I think we're a good team. And I've always looked at the most important thing is beating an opponent within our league. Very talented team, a great environment. So all those things will be great and a great challenge for our guys to go against. But I don't know if you really need a lot of measuring tape this time of year. You are who you are in some ways. You're either getting better or you're getting worse, or maybe just stagnant. But I think we're a good team. And whatever happens, happens.
Do you sense you guys are any sort of extra excitement going on? What's the mentality of your players?
Oh, yeah, I think they're definitely excited. But they were excited before the UCLA game, before the USC game, and they'll be excited for this one. Again, it's a tremendous opportunity, and it'll be a great atmosphere. So definitely, because if you're a ball player, then you want the stage like this. This is what you play for. So our guys will be excited about it, and they'll be ready to go.
Jalen on Twitter will put out these phrases or sayings in his daily goings on, and you have these sayings you have for practice have you guys ever crossed that? You guys ever said the same thing on the same day before?
I got to read his. Because I follow the guys on Twitter, but I'm not examining every step of the way what they're saying or doing. But
You ever read to make sure you don't repeat?
no, it's mine. Mine from the heart. They're genuine. I roll with it. So if you repeat, then that's a good thing.
Winning a conference title mean for this program?
Oh man, that's big. That's big. That's history. And I always tell our guys, when it comes to history, you can't get those days back. That is what it is. It's written in stone. So that's 20 years from now, 50 years from now. That doesn't change. But those names, people remember those names. They might recognize. I remember this guy. He was the leading scorer. This guy was a great this, a great that. But that's 16 guys that were in the trenches together and did something special. So. We won them, and it was a great feeling when I was a player at Purdue to win them. We won 3 state championships in high school, so you're talking about 3 Big Ten championships in a row at Purdue. You're talking about, and I was a part of 2 of those at Purdue. It's just, it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable feeling because, again, it still stands to this day. So I think for that reason, the guys will be excited about doing something like that because that's special. That means you separate yourself from the competition.
Jalen obviously seems kind of mature for his age. What are some ways that you see that off the court?
Well, I just think really he has a laid-back demeanor, and some, where I'm from, they call it old soul, just because, how he goes about his business. But I just think it's a level of wisdom of being around his mom and that sort of thing, and understanding, and being around the people, his high school coach, all those guys. He had a good group of people that were around him. And anytime you're a young guy, you're able to sit in on some of those conversations. You can learn and grow from them. Yes.
At what point recruiting him did it kind of hit you that this guy might be a little bit unique?
I just think when you're able to sit down, because you go inside, you're allowed to go in and practice. Because his high school team used to do a lot of work in the a.m., like 6 in the morning. So now you can see those guys, see how they go about it. And even as a young guy, he was always there consistently. Now, and they put work in. You saw the results. But just he was just a good guy. He was a good kid at that time. Was a nice kid. So I mean, you like to think they would all turn out to be that way, but I just thought he was a good person.
You guys all good?
One last question. Yeah, two guys we don't like ever talk about, Cole Willie and Nick Hamilton. Can you talk about their young sophomores? Can you talk about just how they're developing and what you think of just how they're doing in terms of practice and how they're just
Both work hard. I mean, both work. I mean, you look at Cole. I think Cole came in, if I'm not mistaken, he might have been 195. Now he's probably 230 pounds. He's really put a lot of work in the weight room. Again, doing a great job in the classroom. It wouldn't surprise me before Cole left here, he's playing. Now, how many minutes, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's in the game playing because of the work he puts in, improving his perimeter shot. And again, he has size. He battles in practice, and he's done a good job in helping Ivan, just really from a physical standpoint, battling him in practice. I just think Nick Hamilton, if Nick can continue to progress, at some point he could be on the floor, especially from a defensive standpoint, because he really pressures, he's physical, he's tough. So I see both of those guys, again, maybe not, but at some point they can get an opportunity to be on the floor. Yeah.